Aloha and thank you for joining us on This Is Now. We have a lot to cover locally and nationally on this Monday. We will have the latest on the Maui wildfire that's been burning for days. But first, the Republican Party has officially selected former President Donald Trump as their presidential nominee.
He announced his running mate today as the Republican National Convention got underway. There's also a major update on his classified documents case. All of this after Mr. Trump survived an assassination attempt over the weekend.
And the head of the Department of Homeland Security is facing questions about how the Secret Service allowed a gunman to get within shooting distance of Trump at the rally.
Masa Saedi begins our coverage in Butler, Pennsylvania.
CBS News has confirmed that on the day of the assassination attempt, the shooter purchased a box of ammunition with 50 rounds. He fired from the rooftop of a building about 400 feet from the stage. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, whose department oversees the Secret Service, fielded questions Monday about how the gunman was able to get that close before Secret Service counter-snipers shot and killed him.
An independent review will be conducted to understand the facts regarding protection of the event and make findings and recommendations accordingly.
President Trump's ear was grazed by a bullet. 2 other people were hurt. 57-year-old Marine veteran David Dutch and 74-year-old James Copenhaver. Both are now in stable condition. Retired Fire Chief Corey Comparatori was fatally shot.
He was a man that was full of love.
The FBI identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Investigators say they found rudimentary bomb materials at his home and in his vehicle. Neighbors say they saw nothing out of the ordinary.
We have nothing to share to make some logic out of something that's completely illogical. They were very friendly.
Law enforcement sources say the rifle found on the shooter's body was legally purchased by his father well before the attack. So far, investigators believe Crooks acted alone and the motive remains unknown. He was a registered Republican but did make a $15 donation to a progressive organization in 2021, according to the Federal Election Commission. Masa Saedi, CBS News, Butler, Pennsylvania.
And focusing now on the race for the White House, former President Trump has picked Ohio Senator J.D. Vance to be his vice presidential nominee, calling him a fighter for the people. The news broke soon after the start of the Republican National Convention. Natalie Brand has more from the convention happening in Milwaukee.
This convention will come to order.
The Republican National Convention kicked off with news that Ohio Senator J.D. Vance will be former President Trump's running mate.
What does he bring to the ticket?
He is smart and he can articulate the Make America Great agenda as well as anybody.
The importance of the position was underscored this weekend when Trump survived an assassination attempt.
They tried to assassinate him, and he's still coming back fighting. So I think the Republicans are behind him 150% now.
This afternoon, delegates made Trump's presidential nomination official with the roll call of states.
We hereby nominate every single one of them for the greatest president that's ever lived, and that's Donald J. Trump. Hereby declaring him the Republican nominee for President of the United States of America.
The former president, now in Milwaukee, says he rewrote his convention speech in light of the shooting at his Pennsylvania rally.
The message that President Trump is coming out of this is very simple. We have to unite America. We have to unite the country.
The Trump campaign says the focus of Monday's program will be the economy. Sean O'Brien, the head of the Teamsters Union, who endorsed President Biden in 2020, is tonight's keynote speaker. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Milwaukee.
And in news out of the federal courts, the classified documents case against Trump has been thrown out. CBS's Skylar Henry has more from Washington on this latest development in Trump's legal battles.
Incredibly lucky break for the former president.
A Trump-appointed federal judge in Florida has dismissed the classified documents case against the former president. In a 93-page ruling, Judge Eileen Cannon granted the defense motion over concerns special counsel Jack Smith was illicitly appointed.
She also says there's a problem with how his position was funded. She didn't get to that because she said, well, we're going to dismiss this with respect to the appointments clause.
Smith was prosecuting the former president on 37 counts in this case, including the willful retention of national defense secrets in connection to documents held at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas actually brought up the issue of Smith's appointment in oral arguments for Trump's immunity case.
All of a sudden, he says, I think maybe we should talk about the special counsel and how the special counsel was appointed. Then he mentions it again in a separate opinion.
Republican Congressman Mike Waltz of Florida thinks there's even further involvement for Congress.
That's to settle the issue of the inferior officers and put appropriate statutes in place that appropriately define them.
This case had widely been considered the strongest against Trump. The special counsel can appeal, with the case potentially making its way to the Supreme Court. On social media, Trump wrote, "Dismissal of the Florida documents case should be the first step and that other cases against him should be quickly dismissed." Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Continuing with news across the nation, 4 people were killed in a shooting at a Birmingham, Alabama nightclub late Saturday night. At least 10 other people were injured. 2 women inside the nightclub and a man found on a nearby sidewalk were pronounced dead at the scene. Another man died at the hospital. The victims were identified Sunday. Their ages range from 24 to 56 years old. Police say a fight broke out during a birthday party being held inside the nightclub. They say soon after, at least one suspect drove by and fired shots from the street into the club. Police have not yet made any arrests. And now to an update on the Crater Road brush fire. It remains at about 80% containment, according to Maui County fire officials. Rough terrain is proving to be a challenging factor in completely putting out this fire. MFD said so far about 574 acres have burned. Firefighters have been working on this fire around the clock since it started last week Wednesday. Several helicopters made water drops to extinguish hot spots over the weekend. Officials say the National Guard used about 500,000 gallons of water to fight the fire, including 63,000 gallons of water to saturate a stubborn eucalyptus grove fire.
At the peak of our efforts, we had 7 helicopters engaged in the fire. That number ebbs and flows depending on the fire activity up there. As I mentioned, the perimeter of this fire is 4 miles long, only a quarter mile of it having a road along the perimeter.
For the state of Hawaii, red flag warnings has become a new normal. Red flag warning has become a new normal in that, in addition to hurricane, during this time, we all have to be vigilant about not just hurricane readiness, but wildfire readiness.
Several helicopters made water drops to extinguish hotspots over the weekend. Officials said the National Guard also used about 500,000 gallons of water to fight the flames, including 63,000 gallons of water focused on a stubborn eucalyptus grove in which the flames were burning. We'll keep an eye out on this story and bring you any updates on your H&N digital platforms as they come in. The search for 2 people who are missing following a helicopter crash off Kauai's Napali coast has been suspended. The pilot of the helicopter, 69-year-old Guy Croden, is still missing, along with 60-year-old passenger James Quintua. The body of another passenger, 53-year-old Amy Nicole Quintua, was recovered shortly after the chopper went down.
We're learning more about a security failure at the Kapolei police station that led to the escape of a detainee. It started yesterday morning when 31-year-old David Montoya was arrested for violating a restraining order. Multiple law enforcement sources tell us after Montoya was processed, he was allowed to use the restroom. When he came out, it's believed he pressed a security button on a secure door and that the operator unlocked the door thinking it was an officer. Those same sources say Montoya then scaled a 15-foot security fence and a retaining wall before disappearing into the bushes. Montoya was taken back into custody yesterday evening at around 6:30 in Makakilo. 1 person is dead and another 2 are injured after a bad wreck on Oahu's North Shore. It happened on Kaukonahua Road in Waialua at around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. That's when 2 cars crashed head-on. A passenger believed to have been in his 20s or 30s was pronounced dead at the scene. Both drivers survived but were rushed to the hospital for care. Police say speed may have played a role. A 54-year-old man is fighting for his life after he was hit by a driver while riding his bike in Maui. We're told he had been trying to cross Farrington Highway at around 9 last night near Kimo and Palakamana streets. Crews found him on the roadway unresponsive and rushed him to the hospital. It's believed the driver did not stop to help. Any witnesses are urged to call police at the number on your screen. And a Kahului woman was killed after being hit by a car on Maui. The crash happened Saturday morning just before 11:30. According to police, 71-year-old Mary Kanohokula was in her wheelchair in a marked crosswalk when she was struck by a car leaving the Queen Ka'ahumanu Center. The driver, we're told, is a 69-year-old Wailuku woman. She stayed at the scene. Thousands gathered at Sunset Beach yesterday to remember legendary waterman Tamayo Perry. Eddie Dowd was there.
If ever I could see you again.
It was a celebration of life that seemed to bring out the entire North Shore.
This is a tragic event for us in this little town, to somebody that was very beloved.
We're just here to show my respect and appreciation for a great man who lived a great life.
49-year-old Tamayo Perry was not just a lifeguard, but an actor, former pro surfer, and a man of deep faith.
He left everyone with a smile and positive memory. I'm really going to miss him.
Perry's longtime wife Amelia is a stylist, and he was known to let her experiment often with his own hair.
This was probably his most notorious one.
At Sunday's celebration, many lifeguards who worked with Perry showed up with these leopard haircuts in honor of him.
Magic out of nothing, you make my fears go away. Who will find the words?
He ended up becoming one of my best friends, which is one of the most important things you can be with your children.
The aloha was not just sent from Oahu's North Shore, but across the island chain. This mile-long lei made by Maui lifeguards was laid on one of Perry's surfboards.
If ever I could see you again.
And crews with the Polynesian Voyaging Society sailed to Hokulea to Sunset Beach to take part in the paddle out led by his wife Amelia.
I want everyone to know that what he knew, Jesus loves you. Believe in him, pray to him, he will heal your heart.
Despite a strong current of emotions, Amelia says it was her husband's strong belief in life after death that's keeping her afloat.
Romans 10:13 says, all who call upon the name of the Lord will be saved.
If ever I could see you again.
Eddie Dowd, Hawaii News Now.
The Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center is celebrating a major milestone today. More than 10 million pounds of food have been distributed to families in need through a program that started in response to the pandemic. Casey Lund has the story.
Aloha, certainly celebrating a milestone. 10 million pounds of food distributed through Elepaio Social Services through the Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center. We're just below the health center here in Waianae, and I want to introduce Jesse and Kehau. Jesse's with Elepaio, and Kehau through AmeriCorps is an intern with you folks. We do want to just recognize we were over at the warehouse earlier this morning talking a little bit about the pantries, the distributions, the need, but we're kind of in a new space right now. Tell us where we are here, Jesse.
We're here at our main campus, Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center, and this is one of our main projects of Elepaio Social Services, and the nursery is called Au Pula Pula. So this nursery houses over 600 coconuts right now, around 34 varieties that is selected throughout Nanakuli to Makaha. And we also have some other culturally preferenced foods such as kalo, ulu, and new.
And when we talk about food sovereignty, Jesse, that is so important, right?
Yes, food sovereignty is totally important. It is one of our major concerns here in Waianae because we see it as a vehicle outside of food insecurity. So giving our community the power to decide what they want to eat, when they want to eat, and be able to do it on their own. So that's important to us.
Ultimately being secure in what we have here, feeding our people. One of the great things about Elepaio is some of the job creation, the opportunities to get involved here. And Kehau, I want to talk a little bit about what you do as an intern through AmeriCorps.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh, yeah, so I started my internship in the beginning of summer, and just being able to be given this opportunity to see the other aspect of this side. Yeah, as a former mahi'ai, I was really focused on the producing quality aspect, so being able to be here and really see the distribution and to be able to address the needs in our community and give our people a better, healthier food option is really a blessing.
And we've talked with a bunch of different folks about what you folks have been able to do through LA PIO social services. But I think when you see those face-to-face interactions, it's so important that people see folks that they know and recognize and are there to help, right?
Yes, being from the Nanakuli community, you know, I love representing my community. I love being here and being that beacon of hope, yeah, for our people, because we really want to shy away from the stereotypes and try to start a new perspective on this life.
Thank you so much for sharing with that. And Jesse, you had something?
No, I'm super proud, to be able to guide and also be a part of this new generation of mahi'ai who are now seeing value in our food system and being able to address our community needs, and just being beacons of hope within our community is a privilege. So I'm super grateful for that.
Serving that need. You guys, thank you so much for all that you do, for being with us this morning and sharing a little bit about this. Again, big milestone, but the need is constant. If you want to help out or you need help, we have all the contact information for LA PIO Social Services, Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center at hawaiinewsnow.com. For now, we'll send things back into the studio.
Thank you so much, Case. You're looking live now at the floor at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Temperature there, 87 degrees on this Aloha Monday. They're going to have a lot of speakers coming up in these evening hours there in Milwaukee. We're going to have more coverage on this online and on later editions of HNN. Here at home, the temperature 82 degrees. Guy Hagi tells me it's going to be a dry week, a really nice week. He's going to have your forecast after this quick break.
How's it on this Monday? In the East Pacific, far away from us, there is a potential cyclone forming, about a 40% chance that this becomes a tropical cyclone. That's in the next week or so. But it's still too far away to make any impact on us just yet. Here in the Central Pacific, things remain rather quiet. Now, we do have these windward and Mauka showers coming in, a little bit damp for some areas this morning, but overall, the shower coverage is very, very minimal. And also, whatever showers come in will be moving out out rather quickly. That limits the rainfall buildups, and that's because of these breezy winds. Look how windy it is over on Kauai and over on Maui right now. And these winds will run pretty firm today and tomorrow before easing up on Wednesday. Again, pretty windy today and tomorrow, and these winds will ease up on Wednesday. So this is what we've got today. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies, breezy winds, and very, very little shower activity. And as far as the surf, it's still big and elevated for south and west shores on that south swell, which is peaking today. It'll be dropping by this afternoon. East shores still elevated, but of course it's rough and choppy out there. And the UV index is at 13. It's extreme. Now we're still going to expect lots of sunshine for the next several days. It's going to be breezy today and tomorrow. Lighter winds due from Wednesday going into the weekend. And also there's a chance for a few more showers for Maui and for Hawaii Island Friday and Saturday.
Thank you so much for that forecast. And now to some respite and relief. Some 50 families who survived the Maui wildfires found countless reasons to smile in the happiest place on earth. They were given a chance to get away from the heartbreak and create happy memories at Disneyland. Our Chelsea Davis takes us there.
Disneyland Day 2 was all about the details. I had the privilege of hanging out with the Cashman Ohana today. And I would consider them Disneyland experts.
Everyone give me a silly face.
The Cashmans are in their element. When they found out they were heading to their favorite place on earth for free, they couldn't believe it.
Screaming, cheering, loudness at 7:30 in the morning. Like it was chaos.
This once-in-a-lifetime experience was all made possible by the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement, Marriott International, Boys and Girls Club of Maui, Maui Pono Foundation, and Alaska Airlines.
There's so many families that have never been to the mainland. They've never been on an airplane either, and so giving them this trip, it's just such a great experience, and seeing them and having this incredible gift to them through the partnership with the governor's office, the mayor, CNHA has been a huge partner as well. It's just been so wonderful to see.
7-year-old Tristan Akima is living his best life. Are you having fun?
Yeah. We went on 2 Star Wars rides. Then the second one is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy that goes up and down. And then we watch the fireworks.
Oh, yeah. Back with the Cashmans, they decided to get the full experience. 5, 6, 7, 8. This trip is extra special for them. Their oldest, Keakealani, is off to college in the fall.
Feeling it's kind of like one of our last family vacations, so just very excited and grateful that we had this opportunity to do it with her and to be together.
And although they are true Disney fans,
Cinderella's my favorite. When she was born, I named her Ella.
They are starting their collection from scratch because it all burned in the fire.
Our faith is something that really holds us together as a family. We're sad, but to be able to enjoy what's in front of us and to recognize all the many helping hands and people and blessings from everyone.
Reporting from the happiest place on earth, I'm Chelsea Davis for Hawaii News Now.
Shannen Doherty, star of Beverly Hills 90210, has died. The actress's longtime publicist confirmed to People magazine that Doherty died Saturday, surrounded by loved ones after a years-long battle with cancer. Doherty rose to fame as Brenda Walsh on the original Beverly Hills 90210 show. She was also known for her role on the series Charmed. Doherty was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015. In 2017, she revealed her cancer had returned after going into remission. She was 53 years old. AT&T call and text logs were exposed last week during a massive data breach. Experts say the hack is a good reminder to cell phone users to keep your information safe. Jen Sullivan shows us how.
We use our smartphones for almost everything: phone calls, emails, pictures, music, and even banking. So it's important to ensure our information is safe.
Everybody should be concerned about everything they do that's connected to the internet. You're creating a footprint of who you are.
Colin Walke, a cybersecurity partner at Hollis Stills Law Firm, says the recent hack of AT&T call and text logs shows how vulnerable all cell phone users are to their data being exposed.
We have gotten far too lax, and I think maybe this hack might have woken people up.
Walke says you should limit the amount of apps on your phone.
Every single app you download you should seriously consider not downloading, because every one that you download, you're increasing the threat surface, the number of opportunities that an individual has to hack you.
Other tips include be cautious about what you're texting. Don't have embarrassing or sensitive photos on your phone. Don't store passwords for other accounts on your phone. Make sure the microphone feature is turned off on all apps. And don't allow applications to track your location. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
So they're saying to use your phone as basically a phone.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Let's just go back to the brick, shall we?
Exactly. All right, we want to take you back live out to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the Republican National Convention is underway. Now, President Trump is not expected to make his nomination speech until Thursday, and then his vice presidential pick, J.D. Vance, is expected to take the stage on Wednesday night, but there's going to be a lot of speakers until then. We're going to have full coverage of this on Hawaii News Now, on air and online. And the Democrats will have their Republican next month in Chicago.
Their convention next month.
Yes.
Yes.
What did I say?
Republican.
Oh, yes.
And also a quick reminder, coming up right after this is Investigates TV. You can check that out right here on Hawaii News Now. Have a great day, everyone.
Aloha.